project scope management. The question we want to answer is, with regards to project scope management, which of the following describes the matters involved in the work breakdown structure making process? Option A, calculate the amount of work required and estimate the cost. So we want to estimate the cost, calculating the amount of work required. Option B, subdivide the work into hierarchies. Option C, prioritize the work and come up with a schedule. Option D, defining the activities generating deliverables. So we need to define the activities in this case. So now we'll be going through the following slides to try and find out how best to answer this question. Now first of all, let us begin by talking about what is project scope management. Well, in the PMBOK, which is the Project Management Body of Knowledge, it's a collection of the best practices on project management. It's like a set of standard terminologies and guidelines required for project management. Now, project scope management, it says, includes the processes required to ensure that the project includes all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully. Now there are many key points here, but I say one of the most important things is actually that it's only the work required. This is to do with efficiency. If you end up doing things that are not required, then you're just wasting your time. And we need to complete the project successfully. This may seem like an obvious point. Managing the project scope is primarily concerned with defining and controlling what is and is not included in the project. Again, that sounds quite simple, but this is extremely important. Regarding the scope, it means the work performed to deliver a product, service, or result within the specified features and functions. So, of course, at the end of the project, you need to be performing, or you need to be delivering the product or the service or whatever result is required at the end of the project, and it needs to be done within the specified features and functions. Project scope management involves the following 5 processes in the following order. So it's always easier when you know how many processes there are. There are 5 processes in the following order. First of all, collect the requirements. You need to know what you're going to do. Secondly, you must define the scope. This is what we defined over here. Then you must produce something called a WBS. We will talk about this in the following slides. Then we need to verify the scope that you have defined, and you need to control the scope. And we're talking about these steps in the following slides. So in the previous slide we talked about the WBS. The WBS is a work breakdown structure. And you can probably tell from the words breakdown and structure that creating a WBS means it's the process of subdividing project deliverables and projecting the work into smaller, much more manageable components and mapping out the relationship in a hierarchical structure, as you can see below. So for example, if you have an accounting project, then you can divide the project into having reports, having a master screen and a transactional screen, and then you can divide the reports into subdivisions, the subsections, if you could. So this allows then the project to be split into different sections which can be managed by different departments or different times. It can be different locations, different times, different people, and this allows the project to be delivered much more efficiently. So let us go back to the original question. The question was, with regards to project scope management, which of the following best describes the matters involved in WBS making process? We just found that the WS making process is about dividing the work into hierarchies and making the splitting this project into smaller, more manageable sub-projects. So we know that the answer is option B, because it says subdivide the work into hierarchies. So it is the correct answer. Now let us discuss actually the rest of the answers. Option A said, calculate the amount of work required and estimate the cost. Well, we know that this is not the correct answer, but we can just discuss when this would take place. Well, calculating the amount of work would take place within the project cost management stage. So it does take place, but it takes place in a different stage. It takes place in the project cost management stage. Function point method and COCOMO method are the two representative methods. Option C said prioritize the work and come up with a schedule. This takes place in the activities order setting process within the project time management, mainly represented by arrow diagrams, PERT graphs, which we'll be talking about. Option D said defining the activities generating deliverables. This takes place in the defining the activities process within the project time management again. So these are in the same project time management. Moreover, the units detailing the work package of the WBS's bottommost layer are termed the activities. So this is a definition. The answer to this question, however, which of the following describes the matters involved in the WBS making process? The answer is B, subdivide the work into hierarchies.